What's up, Coyote fans, and welcome to California State University San Bernardino's first year student Next Step workshop. We are so excited that you all are here today. My name's Christopher Bosey. I'm one of your admissions counselors and recruiters for the university, and I'm here with one of my colleagues today to bring you the latest information about what comes next in your admissions process. And I know this one's been a doozy, but let me tell you something. Right now, you should be really excited because we've got lots of great information and there's plenty of things to look forward to in the future. But I should warn you that all of the information you're about to hear is, of course, subject to change because of the ever evolving situation with COVID-19. As a university, as an institution, and as a CSU system, we must adapt. So, with that in mind, I'd like to introduce to you your other host. He's a good friend of mine, he's one of the homies, and he's a great colleague and admissions counselor and recruiter, Nick Clemens! Take it away, Nick.
Woo! All right. Awesome. Thank you, Chris, for that awesome introduction. Like Chris said, my name is Nick Clements. I'm an admissions counselor and recruiter for Cal State San Bernardino. I'm excited to be here with you all today, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing I want to talk to you about are majors. So a lot of you probably already know what you want to major in, and that's great. If you don't, that's okay. We have a lot of students come in as undeclared. If you're one of those students, or if you're a student that wants to change their major, you can do that at orientation, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Just know that you can't switch your major to an impacted major. Those majors are nursing, psychology, social work, criminal justice, and kinesiology, the allied health professionals track. All right, let's move on. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is living on campus. Unfortunately, due to the ongoing situation with COVID-19, our on-campus facilities are closed. But when they do open up, and if you are interested in living on campus, I highly recommend doing so. Studies have shown that students that live on campus do better than those that don't. And that's because you're surrounded by your peers, other like-minded individuals, you have access to more resources, and you just get connected to the community in a way you wouldn't have access to if you weren't living on campus. We do have a new housing facility and a brand new cafeteria that was built a couple years ago. So if its facilities are brand new. So again, if you are able to and you are interested, I highly recommend applying for living on campus.
Thanks so much, Nick. Another thing we want to talk to you about today is accepting your place at CSUSB. And something that you all should be well aware of by now, if you've been checking your emails, is the ECD, or the Enrollment Confirmation Deposit. And that Enrollment Confirmation Deposit is $100. Now, that is not a fee. You should know it is not a fee. 100% of that is going to be applied to your tuition in the fall. But what you should know about that is that there's two pretty important things that this does for you when you pay that confirmation deposit, and that's number one, it actually unlocks your registration for getting into orientation. And orientation, if you don't attend, you're not going to be able to attend classes in the fall. So it's really important that you do this. Next is that if you pay this, we are also going to assume that your commitment is real about attending CSUSB, and in return, what we're going to do is we're going to save you specifically a seat at Cal State San Bernardino, which I think is actually really important. And so we've actually been given a little bit of flexibility. I know that our initial communications said that this was going to be due by May 1st. Well, actually, Cal State San Bernardino in particular is going to be extending this to June 1st because we've been given authorization to do that by the Chancellor's office and given a little bit of flexibility. So we want to pass that on to you, and hopefully this helps you gather that up. But you should be aware that financial aid is not going to pay for the enrollment confirmation deposit, okay? So if this causes you some serious financial harm, and you can prove that it does, we may have avenues for you to take, but for now, you must understand that it's going to be very strict what those guidelines are, that it's going to be determined by our admissions director to determine whether or not that flexibility on that's going to be given out. So don't expect that to come your way. Expect to pay that deposit and expect it to come out of your pocket initially. Now, for those of you that will be getting financial aid in the fall and it's enough to cover everything, you will be seeing that money back in August. So don't worry if it leaves your pocket right now. It's probably going to come back to you. But just in case, I want you to be aware of all the little dips. And there's a couple of things you should know about paying this fee. Number one, it's not refundable. Okay, bottom line, if you decide that you want to do this and you're thinking, oh, well, I'll just accept this, and then if my first choice school decides to accept me or something like that, I can just get a refund, right? Psych. No, that's not happening. And so you need to know that straight out the gate. This is a non refundable fee. So do not pay this unless you're 100% sure that you want to go to Cal State San Bernardino. Number two, it is not transferable. So what does that mean? Well, it means just that, like, let's say you definitely do want to go to Cal State. So you pay that enrollment confirmation deposit, but maybe you're thinking, hey, maybe I'm going to want some time off in the fall or the spring or something like that. Maybe I can just start next year instead of this year. No, that's not going to work either. If you pay this fee, do not expect it to cover you for your ECD for the next admissions period. It is only going to cover you for this admissions period of 2020. Okay, so please understand that in advance. It is not transferable, non-refundable. Only pay it if you are for sure going to Cal State San Bernardino. Next, some of you might be wondering, like, well, how do I pay my enrollment confirmation deposit? If you've been wondering, we've got you covered. No problem. All right, so the enrollment confirmation deposit, in order to pay it, you're just going to log on to your My Coyote account. All of you should know by now how to do that. Let's be real, okay? So log into your My Coyote, and then when you do, you're going to notice all the icons that you always get when you're getting online. You're going to see that Gmail icons you always do. And one of the icons that we're going to have you be looking for today is actually the My Financials icon. So when you see that, go ahead and click it, and it's going to take you to another page with another set of icons, and one of those icons is going to be Make Payment, and you're going to click on that one. And so when you click on the Make Payment, it's going to be taking you to a page that shows you eventually that you have a zero balance and everything. No problem. Just make sure you find the enrollment confirmation deposit on the list and click the View Details button, because it's basically going to be showing you all the different things that we could charge you, and it's going to look a little bit like this. So when you take a look at that, you're going to see the enrollment confirmation deposit. It'll tell you what it is. Make sure to read it carefully, okay? And then you're going to add it to your basket like you were paying for a pair of shoes online or something like that. You're going to read that info. And keep in mind, when you pay, you can use your Visa card or MasterCard. You can use your debit card. You can use your electronic check. But keep in mind that you will probably take somewhere between 24 to 48 hours for the system to actually recognize that you've paid this fee. So do it as quickly as possible, because once you do and then the system recognizes you, that's when you're going to be eligible to register for orientation. So if you've been having trouble, that's why. Make sure you check that out and do that as quickly as possible. Another thing that I've been wanting to talk to you all about is this July 15th deadline that's coming up. It is a big deal. Now, this is the preferred deadline, which we would receive all of your admissions documents. That includes final official transcripts, okay, official transcripts, SAT scores, ACT scores, IB scores, AP scores, CLEP scores, residency information. All of that information is going to be vital to our ability to make a decision and finalize your file. Without this information, we cannot complete your admissions process. And yes, we are going to be a little bit flexible with you, because we do realize that there are some schools out there that have not been open for you to actually go get your stuff. We get that. So don't panic. We are going to be flexible with you, and no, we're not going to be dropping anybody because they missed this deadline. It's just the preferred deadline that we'd like you to get it in, because until you do, we can't do our final evaluation. And if, let's say, it takes you all fall to finally get those documents into us, and you've taken classes and you've gotten grades and everything, and then we find out that you weren't going to be eligible, that might actually actually take you out of school, and I don't want that to happen to anybody. Okay, nobody wants that scenario, and we're going to be working on flexibility with that too. But again, all of this information is subject to change, and all of it's going to be based on our ability to adapt to the situation as it evolves. So please keep informed by staying online, looking at your MyCoyote to-do list and your emails so that we can keep you informed as things progress. Another thing that you're going to be is going to be due for you by July 15th is the deadline to register for the Coyote First Step program and orientation. So that will be the last date to register. We want you to know a little bit about the Coyote's First Step program, though. And so to help us out with that today, we have my good friend Aurora to answer the question, what is Coyote First Step? Take it away, Aurora.
Coyote First Step is CSUSB's response to the CSU system-wide Early Start program. STEP is an acronym for Student Transition Enrichment Program, where we give students the opportunity to take a 6-week math intensive course that is supported and prepares them to transition to college life. As a result of the Coyote First Step program, there are 4 learning outcomes. Students will increase their beliefs about their math capabilities for math self-efficacy. Students will develop positive connection with peers, staff, and faculty members within the university for connection. Students will be able to identify campus resources that provide social health and academic support for navigation. And finally, students will develop stronger skills associated with college success for their college skills.
Thanks, Aurora. We really appreciate you giving us that information. So what you need to know about the Coyotes First Step program is that normally it would actually be an in-person, like 2 weeks. You stay on campus in the dorms to get that full college experience kind of thing and help you get warmed up to the campus, show you around, give you tours, get you excited about coming in, just like we would do at orientation. And normally it would be like a Coyote First Step and a combination of orientation, but we can't do that either. We've had to separate those components due to COVID. So now we're just going to do the virtual online sessions for 2 weeks, where you should expect to spend about 3 hours a day doing math or English workshops, which is going to help catch you up and actually give you 1.5 units of credit towards college while you're in this program to help sort of catch you up and give you that edge. And I think that's going to be really important to help some of you out. And there's going to be 3 categories of you out there. Now, the first category, you're not going to have to do it. So you don't have to worry about this. This isn't something that you have to do. I mean, if you want to, you can, but you don't have to at all. And so you can just ignore all of this. But the second category is going to be recommended. And recommended means that you should probably consider doing this because we've flagged you as somebody who we believe would benefit from it, but technically, you don't have to. You could choose. And maybe you've got some other things that you need to do, no problem. But there are going to be a small category out there of you who are going to be required to do this program. And it's going to be really important to make sure that you have the best chances of success when jumping into your college level courses. So please be aware of that. And the way that we're going to be determining this is through your AEAP scores, your SAT scores, your ACT scores, and your high school coursework in math and English. So just be aware of that. Keep checking your emails and your status to see which one we're going to be recommending for you. Okay? Looking forward to that. Now, to talk to us a little bit about orientation, I'd like to bring Nick back onto the scene to tell us what happens there. Nick?
All right. Thank you, Chris, for all of that awesome information. So I'm going to talk a little bit about orientation here. And the first thing I want to say is orientation is required. Read the slide. All incoming freshmen must, capitalized, bolded, must participate in orientation. If you don't, you won't be able to register for classes. And that's the whole point of coming to college, right? Is to get the college experience, take some awesome classes with our great CSUSB professors. So unfortunately, due to COVID-19, orientation this year will be held online. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be any less of an experience. Our orientation team is hard at work right now, creating an awesome program for you to create an awesome experience. So like Chris said, you must register by July 15th, and there are multiple sessions available on a first come, first served basis. So there is the website right there, orientation.csusb.edu. That is where you need to go to register for orientation. I'm going to give you a minute Write it down, take a screenshot, take out your phone if you have one, take a picture, make sure you know where to go, and we're moving on. All right, so here are the orientation dates, and we have multiple dates. So I'll give you some more time here to write them down, take a picture, take a screenshot, but I just want you to know that these dates are subject to change. All right, and we might even add some more dates. So please make sure you're on top of your emails, you're on top of communication, you're going back to this website to see if anything has changed, because we want to make sure you don't have any outside conflicts that will affect orientation. That includes work, school, I don't know, hanging out with friends. So make sure your schedule is clear on the day you select and on the time you select, okay? All right, give you a few more seconds. Anybody writing these dates down? And we're moving on. So the reason why we want you to have a clear schedule for your orientation date is because orientation is approximately 3 hours long. And I know you're probably thinking that's a long time, but that's because we want to give you the resources and the tools and the programs designed to help you transition to CSUSB, designed to help you continue on your academic journey. So first year orientation will consist of an online pre-orientation course via Blackboard, and that's one of the programs we use here at CSUSB. A webinar experience, which will include academic advising and course registration. So if you remember me talking about majors earlier, and if you wanted to switch your major or finally declare a major, this is the time to do so with academic advising, okay? And then finally, you're going to have an enhanced fall social programming that will help you connect to the campus.
All right, thanks, Nick. We really appreciate all that awesome information regarding orientation. So, admissions requirements updates. These are going to be some important things that I know a lot of you have been asking questions about. And I think that these are really important things that we touch on, including our campuses are changing the grade scales that they're giving us to credit, no credit, pass, no pass, that kind of thing. Is that going to be okay for Cal State San Bernardino? The answer is yes. We are going to be accepting credit, no credit, and pass or no pass grades to satisfy A through G requirements for winter, spring, and summer 2020 only. Okay, this is the only time that we're going to allow students to have those types of grades, because we do realize with the transition to virtual and everything, it was kind of a mess. It was unexpected, but here we are trying to make the best of what we've got. And I think that it's important that we flex a little bit with you, and so does the chancellor's office. So yes, we are going to accept those grades, but only for those terms. Beyond that, what you need to be aware of is that all other terms that you have gone to school must have a C minus or better in your A through G's in order to be eligible, and that is crucial, okay? Another thing that you should take note of is that normally Cal State San Bernardino, because we're an impacted campus, does not usually allow students to take courses in the summer. But again, we're being flexible with you by allowing you to take summer courses this year, and that way that those of you, and that should be amazing news, by the way, for any of you who have found yourself falling behind a little bit and was not able to catch up by the end of your senior year. That's not a problem. You can still take a summer course and catch up and make sure that you've hit all the A through G marks. So we are going to allow that. Take advantage as much as possible. Campus should also be open until the end of fall to accept transcripts. So remember earlier I talked to you about the July 15th deadline. That's the preferred deadline, but we're not actually going to hold you to it. Like, nobody's going to get denied for not turning it in on that. The thing is, though, like I said before, don't get caught up. Get into classes, take your classes, and by the end, when you finally do turn in your transcripts, find yourself ineligible and then therefore taken out of enrollment at Cal State San Bernardino. The sooner you turn in those documents, the sooner you can have peace of mind. So please turn those in as quickly as possible. Finally, we do have a couple of other important reminders that we want to make sure that you take advantage of and that you hear from us about. Make sure to check your to-do list and your Coyote email.
Don't miss your deadlines and make sure you clear your holds.
Check on your financial aid offer and apply for on-campus housing.
Remember, Your admission decision is not final until we review your final official transcripts and all other documents.
To change your campus designation, email admissionsapps@csusb.edu.
Take a virtual campus tour.
Admissions counselors are available to help. So please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call 909-537-5188.
All right, Chris, I think we should give them a little bit of time to write down that email.
Oh, that's true. I guess I should. Let's put it back up there for you. Ta-da.
All right, take your picture, write it down, take
Any
your
information?
screenshot.
And boom. All right, so now we're going to be moving on to our question and answer period. First of all, I want to thank you for all of your attention. You've been a fantastic audience. I hope this information has been helpful for you, and I especially want to thank my homie Nick for all the great information that you provided today, Nick. Thank you so much, brother.
Hey, no problem, Chris. Had a great time, and we'll see you over in the Q&A session.
All right, stay tuned, y'all.